part of social networking, which a lot of people aren't familiar of, is that we have a DePaul online directory. The reason why I bring this up is because a lot of times you can cross-reference information from LinkedIn into the directory and vice versa. So the online directory is only as good as the information that the alumni yourselves give to us. So make sure you go in and update your profile so that way you can use this as part of your search tool. You'll notice that if you're starting to do some networking on LinkedIn, you're not going to be able to send somebody a message that will let you see their email address, but on the directory here, if it's approved, you can go ahead and see somebody's actual email address. So it's just another tool that you can use. The way you access this is from the Alumni and Friends website, and then you'll just go ahead and click on Alumni Community, and it pops up there. If you do need a username or password for that, that's available for you on this page as well. There's a link to click on there as well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to slide 11. This talks a little bit about Twitter. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Twitter, but it's a social blogging site that's available. It's actually microblogging. It's only about 140 characters. Now, as I mentioned to you before, I have a Facebook page, and I keep that for personal stuff. I have a LinkedIn page, and I use that for professional networking. I use Twitter to kind of blend the two. So on my Twitter page, I use that to talk about whatever celebrity gossip I'm thinking about, or I use that to send out links for different job searching tools, techniques, different articles I heard. If I'm doing a presentation somewhere, if I'm talking to alumni on the telephone like I am right now, I'd put something on Twitter about that. So that's where I kind of blend the two together. A lot of people will have them separate, but Twitter's really good because you can connect with a lot of people that are within your industry. The other trick with Twitter right now is that a lot of companies are actually putting their HR offices on Twitter, and they're actually saying, hey, by the way, send all these postings. So for instance, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group, which was CBOP but now CME Group, they actually post job postings directly on there. So it's worth your while. If you haven't signed up for Twitter, it's worth signing up for it, just so at least you can start following some of these companies. That's the Twitter language of kind of being a friend. You're a follower of somebody. Follow some of these companies so that way you can actually see when job postings are coming out that are related to the industry that you're interested in.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is Twitter similar to in the way that you have a profile?
Not quite. The way Twitter's set up, it's very much more basic than Facebook. If you set up your profile on Twitter, it'll let you put in like 140 characters about yourself, and then a URL address for yourself. So you could put your LinkedIn account, you could put, if you have a personal website for your own personal branding, you can put a website, and then that's it. From there, whoever you're following, you only get 140 characters to type in whatever you'd like to talk to that person about. So it's very similar to on Facebook when you can put your status of what's going on. Same almost exact thing, except that's all it is.
And you're primarily, say you're following 10 companies, you'll receive their newsfeed as they post
As they update them, correct.
Oh, you automatically receive those?
You do. If you're a follower of like a company, you'll automatically get that. Same with individuals. You're going to see a lot of individuals. If you're, into news media and you want to follow Katie Kirk, you can follow Katie Kirk all you want, and it'll update you on what's going on in her life.
And so how do you find, is there the Twitter address of these individuals?
There's a search engine that you can use called WeFollow, or you can use, it's called Twello. It's like yellow but with a T, like Twello pages, yellow pages, but it's Twello, or WeFollow. Great links to use. And right in Twitter, there's also a search tool. You can type in somebody's name or address and it'll pop up. The easiest way to start populating your profile for Twitter is to have it search through, if you have a Yahoo account or your Gmail account, have it search through your address book to see who you already know is on Twitter. You can do that for Facebook, you can do that for LinkedIn, you can do that for any of these social networking sites. Have it search through your address book to get you started as to who's on there already.
And
We're going to move on to slide 13. These are some things to remember about online networking. We talked a little bit about the picture for your profile picture, but I want to talk about pictures when you post pictures on, say, Facebook. Make sure for all of this information that you definitely have your privacy settings set to where you want them. This also goes with your status update. If you're on Facebook and you've got coworkers and friends and family, everybody's part of your Facebook page, Make sure you don't put in your status update, wish me luck, I have a job interview today, especially if you have coworkers, your boss, somebody like that as part of your page. They're going to see that information. Okay? Also, accepting friends. Make sure that you know if you're accepting somebody to be a follower or a friend of one of your social media sites, that you actually realize that they're going to start seeing information about you in their news feeds unless you have your privacy settings set. Okay? Group.
How would you do that, Colleen, your privacy settings?
It says it on the top right corner of most of the sites. It'll say privacy or settings, and then you can change them all in there.
Okay.
The other thing you can do is for groups, especially for LinkedIn, I would join groups that you maybe have an interest to. So if you're interested in computer technology or you're interested in IT, there very well could be a group that says IT in Chicago. Join there because there's going to be, every time you join a group, there's a discussion board, there's a job board, there's news feeds. All that is within that group and managed by that group. If you are planning on announcing your job search, like I said, just be private about it. But for instance, say you were laid off from your job and, it's no secret that you are doing a job search right now, make sure you're announcing it to everybody and letting them know, hey, by the way, I'm doing a job search or I'm looking for a new job, especially on LinkedIn where it says, what are you working on right now? You're working on a job search, so make sure you let everybody know that's what you're working on, okay? Remove your profile if you're not using it, especially if you had a MySpace page at one time and you no longer use it. Make sure you remove that profile. And make sure, your professional address, you don't have soccermama3@yahoo.com, something more professional like that. Like I mentioned, if you need an address, we have alumni addresses here that are good for anybody to use as well. Make sure you're Googling yourself to check out where you're popping up online, and if you see something that's popping up about you that you don't appreciate or don't want anymore, try and find out from that person where it is to take it down, especially pictures. Pictures on Facebook now were released, and now they've retracted that. Make sure you're typing your name into Google, and under the image, click on image to see if there's any pictures posted about you as well, okay? Now, just to let you know, slides 14 and 15 are actually just some additional guides for you, a little bit more Twitter-style guides in the Twitter directory. There's the We Follow link. There's also a daily blog links listed for LinkedIn. And then DePaul actually has a blog. It's called Demon Track, so it's kind of where we tie in all of our social media for everybody to make sure that everything's going on at the same time. And then the next page on slide number 15, this will give you a little bit more Facebook etiquette, LinkedIn etiquette as well. Okay? On slide 16 has my contact information, but I'd like to open the floor right now for questions. Any additional questions that may have popped up throughout the day?
Colleen?
Yeah?
The MA next to your name, is that your master's?
Master's of Arts.
Okay. I have a master's also. Do you recommend, usually for my title on resumes or like Monster or Career Builder, I just use my name.
Okay.
I have an MBA in Strategic Management.
Okay.
Should I add those letters?
I'm a big fan of marketing what you earned. So yeah.
And if your other things as well, CISA, CPA, CIA, CFA, I would add those as well.
RN, whatever.
Yep, exactly. One of the tricks that someone told me when I started my job search was to add to your resume kind of a key search section. A lot of recruiters have scanning software that they put your resume into this, I envision like a fax machine or whatever, but it pulls out keywords because recruiters basically work by buzzwords, and it also will help with the online job boards as well. So where, if you happen to be a CPA and you've worked in internal audit, you're looking for an internal audit position, then you can put certified public accountant, you put CPA, you put internal audit, governance, risk and control, MBA, master's in business administration, put all of that stuff in there. And people that I know had done it have increased their hit rate and have, with recruiters contacting them off of these online job boards.
Absolutely.
Exponential increase.
Well, the other thing, too, is, try and look at, if you're at that point where you've been doing something 3, 6, 9, 12 months and you're just not there, take a step back and do a fresh approach. start making a list of like 12 companies that you'd like to target, or 20 companies that you want to target, and then try and do the approach of who alumni can I find there, or what else of my, because DePaul is only one of a million different networks that you have. Some of you have a religious affiliation network, some of you have social networks that you are part of, like a Delta Sigma Pi or another fraternity or sorority that you're a part of in school. Those are your other circles. How do you start connecting some of those circles is going to be the best approach to finding a job in this market. And if you do have any questions, my email address and my phone number are listed right there for everybody. Please feel free. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thanks so
you.
much for being on the call,
Thanks, Ellie.
everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.